Attention Ditto Heads.
Lightning the fast lane.
Attention Bo Scouts.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
It's time for the soul of excellence.
He is a radio host here in New York.
The Rush Hour is on the air.
Rush.
Now here's James Golden.
President Trump forged this moment. Iran begged for this ceasefire, and we all know it. As the President truth this morning, a big day for world peace. Iran wants it to happen. They've had enough. Operation Epic Fury was a historic and overwhelming victory on the battlefield. A capital V military victory. By any measure, Epic Fury decimated Iran's military and rendered it combat ineffective for years to come. You see, in less than 40 days, one of our combatant commands, Central Command, CENTCOM, using less than 10% of America's total combat power, dismantled one of the world's largest militaries. The world's leading state sponsor of terrorism proved utterly incapable of defending itself, its people, or its territory.
Welcome, my friends, to the Wednesday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, fastest hour in American media. A lot of the show today will be focused on the Iran situation. Yesterday at this time, there was gnashing of teeth. There was... That's teeth gnashing, Carlos. Their teeth are gnashing. That's what liberals would do. And they would... We have to convene the cabinet. The cabinet must weigh in and throw him out of office. He must be impeached. Of course, Democrats and left-leaning people, and people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Today, that's not in the conversation. Now they're trying to spin it all differently. For instance, I got a headline here I'm looking at from the New York Times. Trump says he exceeded his objectives in Iran. But what did he accomplish? Are you freaking kidding me? What did he accomplish? For 47 years, Iran has been attacking America. There has been a state of Cold War between Iran and the United States of America ever since they took over our embassy, held Americans hostage, and then, even though those hostages were released after Reagan's administration, killed service members, terrorized the world through proxies, terrorized the entire Middle East. All done without any of the Western nations standing up and saying this cannot possibly go on. And then they threatened to have nuclear missiles. And not just that, ballistic missiles, which they showed recently in recent days were capable of going over 2,000 miles. And the New York Times has the nerve to sit in that. What did he accomplish? And they try to point to supporters. Still supporters of the president's decision to go to war voiced doubts that Iran, in fact, had been defeated. Mark Levin, the Fox News host, who Mr. Trump often praises, lamented in prime time on Tuesday night that the Iranian regime was still surviving. They then cite Laura Loomer, the far-right activist close to the White House, posted online, "We didn't really get anything out of ceasefire talks." I don't give a damn what Laura Loomer says. I know Laura. I've never said anything bad about Laura on this program, and I'm not speaking specifically about her. Laura Loomer is not some damn foreign policy analysis that everybody needs to stop and say, oh, Laura Loomer thinks this about policy. And who gives a rat's ass what Laura Loomer thinks about policy? Seriously. You're going to cite Laura Loomer as some kind of foreign policy expert. No. Lindsey Graham, the hawkish Republican senator from South Carolina, warned Congress would need to review it. So what? Congress is going to review a deal. Congress can't even review their own spending. They can't even review the current state of America and stand up with the spine and pass a bill that 90% of the people want. I don't care whether the Senate reviews the deal or not. The United States Senate, they're practically useless in many areas of our lives. The hand-wringing from the president staunches vouchers highlights a disconnect. Guess what? The administration's strongest supporters are not wringing their hands. They're very pleased. It is people in the mainstream press that are wringing their hands. Democrats that wanted Iran to win. And you have Democrats like Seth Moulton, Democrats like this person up in Connecticut, Murphy, and some other Democrats who seem to be on the side of Iran. In fact, I think Senator Murphy might be trying to position himself so that he can go over there and be part of the new regime in Iran. The way that he's behaving. Why not just go ask them, Senator Murphy, if you can go be part of their new regime? Because you're certainly not rooting for American interest. And then you have the mainstream press, like the New York Times, always looking, no matter what the story is, no matter what the developments are, always looking. Oh, Lord, I said, I must have used the A word, and I didn't know I used it because I just heard from Debbie, my word police person. Did I use the ASS word? Yeah, apparently I did.
We're good for that.
She's correcting me. Look, folks, if I sound frustrated, I am. I am very tired of listening to these liberal voices that no matter what happens, if there's a Republican in the White House, I don't care who it is, the Bushies, whether it was the Bushies, whether it's whoever it is, no matter who the enemy is, the Democrats are on the side of America's enemies. Unless it's a Democrat in office. When Obama was going around swinging drones everywhere, droning bad guys, and including an American citizen doing this, they didn't say a word, not a peep. As soon as Donald Trump does, we gotta impeach. You're going to impeach the president of the United States of America for taking out the state sponsor, the world's number one state sponsor of terrorism, a country that has killed American servicemen and who has acted for almost a half a century in direct opposition to America's interests. That's why you want to impeach the American president, because he's dispatching them? Democrats are sick. They are insane politically. Their behavior is, people throw around the T word all the time. I'm not going there today, but I'm telling you, when I look at some of these statements that they're making, it is insane. There should be jubilation that one of the world's, the number one state sponsor of terrorism in the world, jubilation, happiness, bliss, has been or is close to being defeated. It will take them decades to be able to do what they have been doing for the last half centuries again. Cut 8. Governor Kane, I'm going to go to a break because I want to get a lot of this stuff in. Cut 8. This is what we accomplished, New York Times, since you don't seem to know. Somebody that knows people over at the editorial desk or the news desk at the New York Times, please just give them a holler. Tell them tune in to this program and listen to what we have accomplished with sound bites they could have gotten if they were so interested, since they don't know what we accomplished. Here's what we accomplished.
And perhaps most importantly, we've destroyed Iran's defense industrial base, their ability to reconstitute those capabilities for years to come. We attacked, along with our partners, approximately 90% of their weapons factories. Every factory that produced Shahed one-way attack drones was struck. Every factory that produces the guidance systems that go into those drones was struck. Their missile defense industrial base is shattered, with more than 80% of their missile facilities gone, as well as their solid rocket motor production capability. It will take years for Iran to rebuild any major surface combatants, as more than 20 naval production and fabrication facilities have been damaged or destroyed, and nearly 80% of Iran's nuclear industrial base was hit, further degrading their attempts to attain a nuclear weapon.
That is part of what we accomplished. And you haven't seen the byproducts of those accomplishments, dear New York Times. That's part of what President Trump accomplished, and Pete Hegseth and General Kane and this administration. It is something that even the beloved Ronald Reagan didn't accomplish, which was taking out Iran's capability to do harm, ugly, and evil around the world. It is something that Bill Clinton didn't do. It is something that George Bush 41 didn't do. It's something that Bush 43 didn't do. It's something that Obama didn't do. Obama exacerbated the problem along with Joe Biden by sending Iran even more money to do more evil. So the trash man came in and he's sweeping up behind every American president for the last 50 years, behind every lackluster, lame-brained, simpleton American senator for the last 50 years. That's what was accomplished here. Whether you like it or not, it's Trump that did it. It is Trump that is doing it. And the world will be safer for it. I have to calm down. These people piss me off. Debbie, I know I said it. Yeah, the cleaner way to say that would have been they urinate me off, but I'm not going to say that. They piss me off. I am sick and tired of these Democrats who side with America's enemy and their mainstream media complex that sides with the enemies of America. I am sick of all of them. James Golden and Snerdley. Don't go away. Keep it right here.
Rush. This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Bo Snerdley.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush.
Pete Hegseth at this presser today. It was Pete Hegseth. It was General Kane. And I'll tell you what, it was a really impressive press conference. Cut 4, I want to revisit it real quick. I have some other comments I want to make, but I want you to hear this first, please. Pete Hegseth.
For decades, Iran killed Americans with roadside bombs in Iraq, using cowardly proxies to do their dirty work while they hid safely in Tehran. They struck our embassies with car bombs and attacked from the shadows, never daring to face us toe-to-toe. They thought they could bleed America with impunity. Well, they just learned the hard way what happens when you try to fight us directly. And even when they got lucky, one time in 40 days, and down 2 of our pilots, they couldn't hold them. In a daring 14-hour rescue operation, 7 hours in daylight and 7 hours of night, both pilots were recovered safely. Not once, but twice. A daylight thunder run right up the middle of their country. Boots on the ground. A midnight raid right up the middle of their country. Boots on the ground. 0 American casualties. The Iranians humiliated and demoralized. We control their fate, not the other way around. That's why they came to the table. Iran's defeat is America's retribution for every American lost to Iranian terror, especially those brave troops killed by Iranian-made roadside bombs in Iraq that my generation knows so well, and for the suffering their regime has inflicted around the world. Now we have a chance at real peace and a real deal. The War Department, for now, has done its part. We stand ready in the background to ensure Iran upholds every reasonable term. And as everyone knows, nobody makes a better deal than President Trump.
Now, he mentioned the soldiers. I want you to hear what this country is up against. There's this leftist little woman, typical of these lefties. Her name is Melissa Halverson. She is out in Grand Rapids, Michigan. She works with some Green Apple Pantry, and I'm not trying to say that she's not a good person. I don't know what kind of person she is. She works with a pantry. Maybe she has a deal. But this is what we're up against. Cut 21. When our pilots were on the ground, this is what she put out on social media.
When you're at war with somebody, guess what that other country does? Exactly what they've been doing through history all this time, right? You take them hostage and you use them for leverage. So guess what Iran did? They put a bounty out on his head, and whoever finds him gets a great award. I can't wait. Hopefully it's like money or jewels. I hope the person who finds him is very poor and ends up being very wealthy, and I hope Iran holds their promise.
She hopes Iran takes an American soldier hostage, because you know what Iran would do with our military. This woman is laughing and giggling, hoping that an enemy of America that has killed American servicemen and women takes an American and captures him. That is what the left is in America. And I'm telling you what, folks, I am beyond sick of these people. I am sick of every one of them that think like this woman.
James Golden, known popularly as Bo Snerdley.
This is The Rush Hour with James Golden.
Rush.
James Golden, Bo Snerdley here with you, fastest hour in American media. Okay, want to go through a few other things here. That woman that you heard, I mean, these people, folks, I don't know what possesses people to go online and play that woman one more time. While our pilots were on the ground, this woman had the audacity to wish our soldier harm. Here is this woman. Her name again is Melissa Halverson. She worked, I don't know what she's still working at, with an outfit called Green Apple Pantry in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
When you're at war with somebody, guess what that other country does? Exactly what they've been doing through history all this time, right? You take them hostage and you use them for leverage. So guess what Iran did? They put a bounty out on his head, and whoever finds him gets a great award. I can't wait. Hopefully it's like money or jewels. I hope the person who finds him is very poor and ends up being very wealthy, and I hope Iran holds their promise.
She hopes Iran takes our soldier hostage. She's an American. I tell you what, it's beyond me. It's not her son, not her daughter. It is beyond me that someone would wish that. Which brings me to a point, maybe before I start playing any more sound bites that I want to make about all of this. I could not do what Donald Trump does. Could never be a president of the United States. I would never want to do it. One of the main reasons that I couldn't do it is I couldn't do what is required of every president, be they Democrat, be they Republican, be they liberal, deeply staunch conservative, whatever. I couldn't do it. I couldn't say and give the order for someone to be killed. I couldn't do it, because it is in direct conflict with one of the deepest spiritual views that I have. Am I saying I am a pacifist? No, I'm not a pacifist. I mean, if the country called on me to serve my country, as I was that age, I went and got my draft card back during the Vietnam years, and had I been drafted, I would have gone. But I couldn't give the order to do it. That's not who I am. And leaders that take this awesome responsibility of placing other people's lives in their hands and also deciding the fate of other human beings, that demands a certain quality of leadership. Again, I'm not talking politically here. I'm not talking about whether you're a conservative or a liberal or whoever. It demands a certain amount of surety, a certain amount of conviction to be able to do that. There is no question in my mind that Iran has been a bad actor in the world. They have caused harm to America for almost a half of a century, and they have been unchecked by leaders of both parties. Donald Trump is exceptional. These people hate him. Every excuse they have to try to tear him down, they do it, including this, including the words that he said yesterday to bring Iran to the table, which none of them have been able to do in a very serious way. Obama tried to pay them off, and they never stopped their bad acting even then. He just gave them more fuel to continue their bad acting, and so did Biden. But look at the things that Donald Trump is unafraid of. He's unafraid of the biggest taboos in America. Well, we can't talk about racial stuff in the ways that he does it. We may not agree with him. We may not agree with some of the words he chooses, but he has tackled this whole DEI issue, which New York, by the way, is trying to instigate again. But the idea that the government should put its finger on the scales when it comes to color, gender, all of it, and the government should be colorblind. That was what the entire civil rights movement was about, and people have forgotten that. He's tackled it. This idea of illegal immigration. We have now 30 million illegal immigrants here. No other president had the nerve to publicly do what Donald Trump is doing. Obama deported people. Yes, there were deportations, but Joe Biden and Kamala Harris let 11 million illegal immigrants in this country. Donald Trump is unabashedly trying to do what it takes to reverse that. He's trying to reverse the entire underpinnings of the Democrat Party. Whether it's this wacko green new scam that they tried to and successfully implemented. You look at so many aspects of American life that he is trying to correct. Things that other presidents and other hapless Congresses, be they the House and the Senate, have failed, including being unafraid to go to the Supreme Court and say, let's challenge this birthright thing. Including now challenging even things like the Presidential Records Act. He's unafraid to challenge the status quo that many of us have been happy with and thought the country was going in the wrong direction for almost 50 years or more. And he's willing to try to correct it. And what does he get? Cut 15. This is Aaron Burnett and Chris Murphy over on CNN.
We stand out here. One, the safe passage that Trump is saying is going to be provided for 2 weeks as part of this, kind of the central part of it, through Hormuz. They're saying is possible via coordination with Iran's armed forces, which obviously implies that Iran controls the strait. And then from the National Security Council, they say this confers upon Iran a unique economic and geopolitical standing in terms of them regulating passage through the Strait of Hormuz. So what do you hear in all this?
I mean, listen, who knows what's going on? Donald Trump lies every single day. Clearly, he's not telling the truth. But if you accept even part of the Iranian statement, Donald Trump has agreed to give Iran control of the Strait of Hormuz. That is extraordinary. If you go deeper into the statement from the Iranian National Security Council, they claim that Trump has also agreed to Iran's right to enrichment, to suspend all sanctions against Iran, and to allow Iran to keep their missile program, their drone program, and their nuclear program. Now, who knows if any of that is true, but if at the very least this agreement gives Iran the right to control the strait, that is cataclysmic for the world. And it is just stunning that that's where we have gotten to, that Donald Trump took a military action that has apparently, at least for the time being, given Iran control over a critical waterway that they did not have control over. All right, stop it right there.
So he's making out, this is cataclysmic. Donald Trump has given Iran, he's citing Iran. Donald Trump's a liar. Let's go listen to what the Iranians are saying. This is how twisted and ignorant this man is. And he's a United States senator. He's openly rooting for Iran. Well, I mean, we don't know whether it's true, but let me base my entire premise on the fact that Iran is telling the truth and Trump is telling a lie. And Aaron Burnett, dear Paramount, please take over CNN and do something with this network. There's a quote I have from MS Now, but I'm going to wait till tomorrow. It's Lawrence O'Donnell, because Princess Diana is going to try to make an appearance on the program tomorrow with us if our schedules can work out. And I want to discuss this with her, because this thing is so egregious. But this, Aaron Burnett and Chris Murphy, Donald Trump last night said CNN was lying and putting out fake news because they were pretty much running with what was coming out of the Iranian shop, not our own. And yet they gleefully go in and try to make the worst case scenario. They want America defeated, and I want CNN defeated. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Aaron Burnett and this character, this poor excuse for a senator that you people in Connecticut sent the United States of America, these people are wishing for America to be defeated. And I want CNN defeated. And I want to see a real candidate run against this deranged senator from Connecticut, who can't even support America in victory. He'd rather have the enemy win. ABC News, John Cato, cut 14. Let's turn to ABC News. Here's another one.
President Trump's critics have coined the acronym TACO for Trump always chickens out, referring to previous threats that he's pushed back. Do you think he's bluffing this time?
I don't think he's bluffing, but I don't think they've really thought out what exactly the end game is and what victory looks like. And if you didn't anticipate that the Strait of Hormuz was going to be the key turning point, because that's Iran's only card now is oil. So if they can, they're controlling some cards because of the oil, even though they've been decimated militarily. So I think that there's a lot to be determined here, but saying you're going to stop the rhetoric it causes cataclysmic effect is something that you kind of hear from the Iranians sometimes too, right? But in the end, you got to think of it this way, right? What is the end? What is going to be the final thing that's
okay? So we got into something and we didn't know what the end game was, and this poor little guy at ABC is trying to explain to us that the Strait of Hormuz is important, as if Donald Trump, as if Pete Hegseth, as if General Kane, as if the entire intelligence community hasn't known about this, as if Donald Trump hasn't been talking about oil and Iraq and that nexus since the 1980s. These people in the mainstream media are a disgrace. They're a disgrace to this country. They're a disgrace to journalism. They're a disgrace to political analysis. The only things that drive them is their hatred of Donald Trump, their hatred of Republicans. That's the only thing that appears to have been driving these people for the last, every time a Republican is in office, you get this kind of smack from these people. man. Cut 17. There's a Republican from New Jersey, Josh Gottheimer, and I am finally, we get this.
The goal should be to crush the leading state sponsor of terror. We should want to massively set back as a country their ballistic missile program and their drone program.
Right?
We should want to weaken their nuclear program. We've weakened it a bit last June, and I'm hoping when we get the out reports here that we've weakened it more. We should want to set back their terror program, and they want to undermine our freedom and our democracy. We shouldn't gloss over the goal that we should all share.
I don't think anybody. I don't think anybody's glossing over.
Yeah, no, but sometimes I think people are rooting for the wrong side.
No,
here.
no, no. I don't think. Hold on a second. I don't think anybody is rooting
He called it
for the Iranian.
He called it. I don't even want to hear Abby anymore. She's another apologist for the left. This congressman, Josh Gottheimer from New Jersey, called it exactly right. And he called it exactly 100% in the direction on CNN of what their network is about. Rooting for Iran. The same as MSNOW. Rooting for Iran. The same as you see on the shows that ABC News, supposed news, puts up. Rooting for Iran. The same thing you see on their quasi-entertainment, no fact-based shows like The View. Rooting for Iran. Anything that they think would feed their TDS audience. This hatred of Donald Trump for cleaning up the messes that American presidents have left behind for 50 years. Anything they can to knock Donald Trump, they're going to go through. And if it means rooting for the enemies of the United States, why, by golly, they'll stand on their soapboxes and shake their asses and root for the enemies. Yes, Debbie, I said asses. They will stand on a soapbox, shake their ass, and root for the enemy if that's what it takes to show how much they hate Donald Trump. Regardless of the impact on America, regardless of the impact on the world. Oh, man. I'm sorry, folks, today. I'm losing it. Because I've had it with these people. I've had it with them. You can't even congratulate our American military on this incredibly brilliant operation. In 5 weeks, they've done this. They hate this president so much. James Golden, Snerdley, fastest hour in American media continues. Don't go away.
Rush. This is the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Bo Snerdley.
It's the Rush Hour with James Golden.
Goes by the pseudonym Bo Snerdley.
Rush. Now, here's James Golden.
With a shout out to my man Ed Shea. You're listening to MFSB doing TSOP. Carlos asked me, what's the Sound of Philadelphia, TSOP? Well, who's MFS? Mother, father, sister, brother. And that's what the orchestra is, the MFSB Orchestra. Playing it because today is the birthday of the great Leon A. Huff. Gamble Huff. Gamble and Huff. Also, the Mighty Three, Gamble Huff with Tom Bell. They created, folks, the Sound of Philadelphia. So much music came out of Philadelphia and the Sound of Philadelphia, including the Jacksons after they left Motown. So many artists. Pendergrass, Harold Melvin, the Blue Notes, the OJs. Over 175 gold and platinum records out of the Philadelphia sound. We got to get out of here, folks. May God bless, protect each and every single one of you, your families, your loved ones. Love and gratitude, my friends, for your being here with me, allowing me to be with you. God willing, we'll be back with you tomorrow for the Thursday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, the fastest hour in American media. Until then, my friends, God bless the United States of America. I bid you adieu. Democrats. Bye.